Hey guys, we have another jam-packed week full of planetary transits. We have a ton going on this week. This week, Venus goes into Leo, which can help us be more passionate, fun, and charismatic to our love lives and career. This is another week of a bunch of Mercury transits, and these Mercury transits could cause a bit of awkwardness. In other words, it can throw off plans, it can make things foggy, and cause communication to be somewhat difficult. And this is another week with a bunch of Venus alignments, Sun alignments, and Mars alignments. So we could feel more expressive, we could feel more energetic throughout this week, plus focus on the major changes we need to make with our love lives and our career. So yeah, the second week of August is definitely dynamic, it is definitely jam-packed, and also this is one of those weeks where things can feel more intense than normal and more revved up than usual. Sure, there's fun spots, but try to stay as grounded as you possibly can. And the vibes on the graph completely reflect all of that. Beginning of the week, we have a lot of intersecting energies going on from the 8th all the way up until about the 10th. We have romantic energy that's popping up and it's going to be pretty strong. So romantically, things will be revved up. There are some intense moments though that come with it just due to an alignment with Venus and Pluto. There is emotional sensitivity that's popping up and intersecting this all the way up until about the 10th. There's solitude energy going from the 8th and intersecting that emotional sensitivity. The romantic energy, also motivational energy. Plus there is another spike on the 10th of emotional sensitivity mixed in with romantic energy along with psychic energy. So all of this in the beginning of the week is a lot to handle. We can feel more triggery than normal, but we can also feel motivated to take care of our problems and make the changes to situations that need to be corrected. We will definitely need moments to recharge our batteries by ourselves. It may not be as intense as certain moments, but in the beginning of the week, we are going to definitely need that so we can focus on where we need to make changes in our lives. Going to the end of the week, we have more solitude energy mixed in with mental energy and mixed in with motivational energy. When we have these hard transits, we feel motivated to take care of shit, and that's the great thing about them. It is still uncomfortable, however, so you may be in your head through this weekend. Solitude energy is that's at its peak, so you will definitely need some time to yourself, and you may feel motivated to just take some space and take care of business for yourself, whatever that may be for you. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting week for sure. Let's look at the next bunch of days and see what we can expect. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. The 8th is an interesting day, considering we have the Sun making a trine with Chiron and Venus opposing Pluto within that same day. It can feel like a mixed bag day, and this is, again, when we see stuff on the graph, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see how these energies end up intersecting one another because they're happening around the same day, so they kind of collide with one another, sometimes in a great way and sometimes in a very uncomfortable way. With the Chiron stuff, we are going to feel motivated to fix things within our self-esteem. We're just going to feel motivated to pump ourselves up. We're going to feel motivated to pump other people up, which is great in this energy, and we definitely need that with some of the other alignments that are going on that day. So this is going to give you an extra push to rebuild things when it comes down to your self-esteem, when it comes down to fixing things within your confidence. This could be a moment of just feeling like sometimes we have those moments where we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and this could be that motivation and that push you need to get things in order for yourself. And this is what I mean about take care of business for yourself. Sometimes it's not terrible things. Sometimes it's just like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I have to work on this. I have to rebuild myself, especially if you've been in a low period for quite some time. This could be that moment where you're just like, you know what? I can't do it anymore. I need to find a solution to this. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be a problem. So this could be that day where you're working on that and you're working on healing yourself. But this could also be helping friends, helping family with similar issues. Friends or family or people who are going through something similar that you went through and you learned how to heal yourself. So now you're giving back and you're paying it forward. You know, Chiron is in retrograde. This Sun trine Chiron situation is a retrograde alignment. This is the opening trine to the retrograde. So it may accelerate certain situations that need to be expedited in terms of your healing. And this is a situation that you can see come back once we're in the closing alignment of this trine, which won't be until about mid to late December or so. So use this to pump yourself up and pump others up, and we're going to really need that cheerleading right now because Venus is making an opposition with Pluto. Now, the great thing about this is it is great for uncovering the root cause to bad relationship patterns. So this is definitely helpful even if you're single and you're just trying to figure out exactly what the root cause is for some of your behavior in relationships, why you attract some of the people that you attract, why you're drawn to certain types of people. So this could be a day of healing that, working through a bad relationship behavior within a romantic relationship you're currently definitely in. This could be a healing period. The thing about this one is when you're dealing with an opposition, sometimes it can be stressful because we could be dealing with tricky situations with other people. We could be dealing with tricky situations with people who have control issues, people who are trying to keep things the same in a relationship. They're getting all the benefits of a relationship, but you're not, and they're trying to keep the power dynamics in their favor. So this may end up being problematic as a result of that. We can also see control issues when it comes down to money with this alignment as well. And because Venus is coming off of that sextile with Uranus and Mars, this can definitely activate long-standing issues that need to be resolved, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in an uncomfortable way, with love and money. And speaking of money, this can activate those situations where there's power struggles with money, whether it be power struggles with someone who's holding money over your head, maybe a family member or a partner, or a situation where you have a boss that's dangling a promotion over your head, or there's a power struggle at the job itself because you're dealing with a coworker, supervisor, or a boss that has a complex personality type. Hopefully the Chiron situation brings more healing to these situations. I mean, either way, this is healing, but on one end of the spectrum, it's harder than it is the other. So hopefully you guys are feeling more of the ease rather than the strenuous parts of this. Unlike the 8th, the 9th is an interesting day full of planetary transits, and I say this because we've got some interesting Jupiter alignments going on. This is going to be a day where our egos could be a bit out of control, and I always say this with these alignments, and I know I sound crazy, but I would rather deal with cocky than see depressive energy or stressful energy in that way. And this is still stressful, but I would rather see what I'm seeing here versus the other thing. Mercury is going to make a quincunx with Jupiter, and Mars is going to semi-square Jupiter. So with energy like this, we can definitely feel hyper. This could be a day where we just can't be bothered with the details. We can't be bothered to pay attention. We can feel easily distracted, and not in a Neptunian way, in a way where it's just shiny object syndrome. So this could be a day where, if you have something serious to focus on, it may not necessarily be the best day for it. It could be definitely an issue if you have to sign something important. So try to be as responsible as possible. Try to read the fine print and all the details. Make sure you're paying attention to what you need to pay attention to, because this alignment can really just, it causes us to veer off a little bit in our minds. It could also bring out communication that's a bit crazy, cocky in some sort of way, or, you're dealing with people with puffed up egos. You're dealing with people who are braggadocious. You're dealing with people who embellish things. And, I always say with those, sometimes that could be comical. Sometimes it's not comical when you're having to deal with it all the time. So do the best you can with this Mercury situation, because again, that same day, Mars is in a semi-square with Jupiter. And this is the kind of energy that could be cocky energy. It's just more cocky energy. It's more reckless energy. It's more not giving a fuck about taking care of responsibilities. It can be an egomaniac energy, so you could be dealing with that. And it could be a tendency to have one-upping contests with people, pissing contests with people. So you could be dealing with people who have those sorts of attitudes on this day, which can be, there's a lot of pressure that comes with this. However, with this Mercury quincunx Jupiter and Mars semi-square Jupiter, this can also be a fun energy throughout that day. This is why I say, I kind of welcome this energy. It's stressful. I welcome it, but it definitely brings a fun element to the air, because again, you're kind of throwing caution to the wind. Still be aware of your surroundings, but it can cause you to want to just go out and have an adventure, do something excitable, do something that's thrill-seeking in some sort of way. Just make sure you're taking care of your obligations. If you're wanting to go out and have fun, be aware of overdoing it when it comes to drinking and food and things like that. I mean, it's Tuesday, so 2 for Tuesdays. With that Mars-Jupiter energy, that 2 for Tuesday can turn into octuplets. And so, you may end up with 8 drinks in your system, which no judgment whatsoever. I just know how Mars-Jupiter pairings go, and as an Aries who has a Sagittarius best friend, one of my best friends, I know how it gets when we get high octane. And so definitely just do the best you can with this energy. Try to be responsible and make sure that you're not getting into crazy Mars-Jupiter situations like bar fights or coming in at 4 a.m. and pissing your spouse off. By the time we get to the 11th, we have more cocky, obnoxious energy going on. The sun's going to make a square to Uranus on that day. So we have a lot of puffed up energy this week, and that in itself, again, sometimes that can be okay, sometimes it's not okay. And this is one of those things where we could be expressing ourselves in an obnoxious way, which can cause stressors or cause backlash from others. I'm all about being yourself and expressing yourself and being true to who you are, being authentic. However, there's a point where sometimes that can be a problem. And I say that when it becomes an egomaniac sort of behavior. When our self-expression becomes bombastic, that's when things really go wrong. And this is one of those energies where things go wrong as a result of it. So it could be a day where there's a little bit of hostility from others because either they're feeling as though you're trying to one-up them in some sort of way, or you're being overbearing, or you're not allowing other people to express yourself because you're needing all the attention on you. So it's something that you definitely want to be aware of. Sometimes that happens with people. Sometimes people don't realize that they're doing it. Sometimes people do realize they're doing it. So it is going to be a day of deciphering if someone's doing it intentionally, or they're just having an off day, or they're a little off kilter, or they're pumping themselves up because they feel insecure. It's a situation of be who you are, but don't push yourself on others. Or if you think you're right, you might be right, but you can still come off wrong if you're coming from a place of hostility and you're picking fights with other people. So no matter how right you are, you're still going to come off wrong because of your approach and the way you're saying it. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So this could be problematic as a result. This also brings up technical difficulties. So technology-wise, there could be some issues, glitches. Things may not go as planned within this energy. Things kind of get a little bit off kilter. And again, people just become very argumentative. And there could just be sudden mood swings within this energy, sudden mood swings with your self-expression where it goes from being obnoxious to being, again, hostile. And with the other alignment that's occurring that day, with Mercury making a Sesquiquadrate to Pluto, this could be a day where communication, again, is hardcore. And communication is hardcore because people are speaking the truth, but at the wrong time. Again, this is another one of those alignments where you need to be aware of being overly dominant and dominating the conversation, making the conversation about you, being very polarizing, talking about topics that people aren't very comfortable about. Mercury is also coming off that Sesquiquadrate with Jupiter, so be aware of over-exaggerating things and not paying attention to the details, or thinking that you know better than other people, so you rush in and do something and it causes more issues than you need. Mentally, we could feel kind of heavy on this day as well too, so just make sure your internal dialogue is as balanced as possible. And again, speaking the truth at the wrong time. Sometimes we need to tell the truth, sometimes we need to speak. A lot of times we need to tell the truth and speak the truth. However, sometimes there's not the right time. Sometimes it goes wrong if you're repeating something that you shouldn't repeat, like repeating a rumor or something. You know, it may be the truth, but it may not be the right time, or it may not be appropriate for you to repeat it. So you just want to be careful when it comes down to this. At least on that day, Venus is going into Leo, which should really put a nice, passionate tone into the air, romance-wise, and when it comes down to our finances. As we leave the sentimental, emotional tone of Venus in Cancer, we shift to another emotional approach, but emotional in a very different way. Venus in Leo is emotionally passionate, bold, romantic, and demonstrative. That's not to say that Venus in Cancer isn't romantic, because it is a very romantic Venus. However, when you get the Leo energy is more extroverted and more expressive and more over the top in terms of displays of affection. This energy is about taking your romance to the next level, getting very decadent in the way you do things romantically and decadent in the restaurants you're choosing for your dates, going on daring adventures when it comes down to your dating life, being more courageous in the way you approach romance if you're single or in your relationship all in itself. But it's a very nervy sort of Venus. It's a very cheeky sort of Venus. So we will feel more confident when it comes down to the way we approach love life situations, finances, career situations, and just the way we enjoy our lives and have fun. So if you're single, this could be a period where you're feeling more daring when it comes down to your romantic life. You could be more open to dating again, opening up your dating pool more so than anything else. Or finally feeling brave enough to approach your person of interest, whether that be online through DMs, whether that be in person. If you're dealing with an in-person situation, you could just finally say, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking a chance, I'm interested in this person, and the worst they can say is no. So it's great for really getting you to come out of your shell. Venus in Leo is amazing for helping us come out of our shell love life wise. If you're in a relationship, this could be a time where you're getting more passionate with your partner. Intimacy-wise, you could be more provocative and dramatic and showy when it comes down to your affection or what's going on in the bedroom. So this could be lovely for just getting expressive with someone that you're romantically linked with. Venus has a lot to do with how we enjoy ourselves and the way we adorn ourselves. So this could be a time of just going on some nice shopping trips, or even doing a shopping date romantically, or, you know, a shopping date with your platonic friends and things like that, because everyone makes these types of plans to just go out and just go on a shopping spree. So that energy can pop up as a result result of this. Just a need to revamp something and get bold with your style and create a little bit more drama with your wardrobe or your hair and things like that. But even if you're not running to a boutique, this could be a time where you're on a style hunt. So this could be a period where you're doing a little bit of window shopping online and trying to find a strategy for your style that's going to bring some sort of excitement to it in the way you dress. This Venus is great for being charismatic. This Venus is great for giving people the attention that they need. You know, a lot of ways with this is great for just finally pouring attention into a relationship, pouring attention into maybe a financial situation, or pouring attention into yourself, and also receiving it from others. So this could be a time of big compliments and tons of praise. Money-wise, this is good for attracting the right opportunities to yourself. Leo is a very magnetic energy, so if you're looking to attract something based on your unique talents, this could be a time where you're actually able to do so. This could be a time to attract the right people to your resume with a very standout cover letter. And also this could be an energy of just attracting the right types of financial situations to yourself. So it's amazing for that. However, there is the lower vibration that comes with this. And so sticking to the financial part, this is the type of energy that can make you more over the top when it comes down to your spending habits. Again, this is a shopping spree sort of energy. So try to be mindful of how much you're spending, what you're spending on. There's a tendency to be more lavish in this energy. So if you're normally not the type to buy yourself something ultra expensive, buy yourself something really nice, but try not to go overboard. You may not need 5 of those things. 1 might do. When it comes to relationships, we have to worry about bringing too much drama to the relationship in a bad way. So this could be a dramatic energy when we're not getting our way when it comes down to the attention we're seeking or passion that we're seeking. Sometimes people may not be on the same wavelength as you, and so you have to wait for them to really get at your level. Also, this is again one of those energies where you're seeking praise and you're seeking applause. This may be a time to work on your self-esteem and work on applauding yourself, work on internal confidence and validation, because Venus has a lot to do with our self-esteem and confidence. So this could be a time where your self-esteem needs to get boosted by you and not through other people. We could have a hard time with criticism in this energy and get to a point where we get combative with others if they give us feedback that we don't appreciate. Obviously, not all feedback is good feedback, and sometimes you need to be closed to feedback and not always take feedback from others. However, when it's someone coming from a good place, and I'm not saying well-meaning and you should accept all feedback, but someone who's really just trying to help you and coax you along the way, try not to bite their head off, because that can easily happen within this energy. You don't have to always accept the feedback, but just try not to come at someone's head for telling you something. And there is a tendency to feel entitled and like everyone owes us something, and so that's something else that needs to be curbed within this energy. Other than that, Venus in Leo is a fun energy. Leo season overall is just a fun time, and even with some of the harder transits, we have so much good Leo energy that we definitely need to absorb and soak up. So soak this one up and become more bold and expressive within your love life and finances in the most balanced way possible. At least on that day as well, Mars is making a sextile with Neptune. Mars will be making more harmonious alignments from now on throughout this week. We've gotten the other ones out the way, and we definitely need these because it's constructive Mars that helps us get things going in our lives, and it also helps us feel more confident in a healthy way. Mars is going to be making that sextile with Neptune, which is great for taking action on your fantasies. Normally, Neptune on its own or without the right types of application aren't going to give you results. And with Mars and Neptune together in this configuration, it helps us get results on stuff that we've been dreaming of, stuff that we fantasize about. So this could be anything to do with big goals that you have in mind. And those goals could be anything from career to relationships to some sort of passion project to education, just whatever it may be for you, something that you've been dreaming up for a while. This will give you the stamina and motivation you need to go after it. This is also good for connecting with our spiritual side and taking action on spiritual pursuits. And this could be quite a romantic energy in itself. So relationship wise, this could be a time where you guys are connecting on a higher level, on a spiritual level. Or, if you're in a dating situation, this could be something where you guys are finally on the same page with one another or energetically on the same wavelength with one another. Or if you're single, this might be a time for making some good spiritual connections with someone that you have a possibility of dating. So this is lovely energy. Let's soak this up and make the most of the 11th. On the 14th, the sun is going to opposed Pluto. So this is the halfway point to the Saturn retrograde saga that we've been experiencing. When the Sun opposes Saturn or any of the outer planets, this marks the halfway point of the retrograde. So we're halfway done with Saturn retrograde. It's almost like full moon energy. It's very peaked out energy. And so it could feel intense. It could have us at a crossroads with things. It could have us looking at where we're headed, what needs to be tweaked, what's not working, and really the stuff that we need to get rid of in our lives. This day can feel like a reality check when it comes down to our ego needs versus what's real and what's reality and what we need to accept, what we need to face, what we need to get past. This could show us where we've lacked boundaries with other people, where we need to get mature and grow up, where we need to check our egos once again, and the importance of hard work, the importance of not resting on our laurels when it comes down to things. So this could be a day of really pushing through obstacles. This could be a time where you're starting to see that you are busting through obstacles if you have been working on it. And this could be a point where you're revealing your true potential, because not all of it has to feel challenging, but this can be a challenging energy. So it does bring up a lot of demotivation. It can bring up moments where you feel slightly isolated or lonely, or feeling as though people are being annoying, intolerable, starting arguments, or even situations where you're dealing with people's egos on the other end of it that are just, they're just intolerable, and there's a lot of shamelessness in their behavior. So do the best you can when this energy hits, because that same day Mercury's making a quincunx with Chiron, which could further amplify some of the harder energies when it comes down to this. This is the kind of energy where we can be in our heads. We can be fixating on certain things within the past. These types of energies with Chiron definitely puts us in a position to start reviewing some of our old stories, and sometimes they're not the comfortable stories. So this can pop up on that day, especially with the Sun opposing Saturn. This could bring up some old stuff or a reminder of something that happened that you need to resolve. Maybe it's making amends with someone. Maybe it's making amends with yourself, because sometimes we owe ourselves an apology. And so this could be a day to learn to forgive yourself. Luckily, on that same day, Mars is making a trine with Pluto. Now, Mars and Pluto, when they get together, they're both the edgelords of the solar system, but in this alignment, it helps when it comes down to changing things. It helps with a little bit of extra assistance when it comes down to some of our difficulties. It helps us take action in the best way possible, and sometimes that action can bring us a little bit of luck. So this may help us and give us some sweet spots, even though it's Mars and Pluto. I'm not saying that certain things can't be harsh within this energy, because it's a harsh day, but this may give us the boost and motivation we need and the extra assistance to get things done and to move past a lot of obstacles that we're experiencing. So hopefully this brings some favorable stuff to you guys in terms of some of these alignments that are happening over the weekend, especially with this Sunday. And this Mars-Pluto alignment helps you transform some unfortunate circumstances in your favor. Anyway, I hope you all have the best week ever. Later, guys.